Everyone, it's Leilani for God. I'm back with another video. Welcome to another installment of the Celebrities Exposed series. Unfortunately, people look up to celebrities because they seem like they have good advice to give. Because if they're rich and famous, maybe quite possibly they've done something that we could all learn from if we want to be successful in life. So, a lot of celebrities are used to promote like motivation and positive thinking and quotes that will have you think if you just work hard and be a really good person that you too can become rich and famous. But sadly, the real truth about rich and famous people, whether we're talking about Hollywood in America or even in other parts of the world where they have their own kind of Hollywood going on, the same type of satanic rituals are taking place in order to keep their careers in place. And they have to take a code of secrecy that if each other are caught doing behaviors that are against the law, for example, other celebrities and other wealthy people who are inside of that whole occult kind of business relationship, they have an oath of secrecy that they will not tell on each other. And so when you have people with a lot of money and influence who know that they are protected by a wall of secrecy, unfortunately, that allows bad behavior to run rampant. So we're going to be exposing a whole lot of bad behavior on the part of Oprah, as well as a lot of people that she's connected to, associated with, people that she has promoted, made people rich and famous, who then turned out to be predators over children, women, men, and Oprah herself has exhibited predatory behaviors. You know what they say, birds of a feather flock together. So here on the screen is a picture of Oprah Winfrey with Harvey Weinstein. He's currently in jail. He will more than likely spend the rest of his life in jail behind allegations that he has abused women physically against their will, if you know what I mean. YouTube doesn't like us to use, language that is overtly sexual or could trigger people who are victims of abuse. Even though Oprah Winfrey herself claims to be a victim of abuse, she still has a lot of people around her who are also accused or formally charged and convicted of sexual assault crimes. So you would think that Oprah would want to expose these people and not be associated with them if she's saying that she's a victim. However, we cannot always believe the background stories that celebrities tell us. Oh, I had it hard growing up and all type of terrible things happened to me. A lot of celebrity background stories are fake. They just make it up to create a kind of trauma bond with the public. And in my opinion, that's what Oprah Winfrey is very good at doing. She creates trauma bonds with the audience. And that's what makes them continue to come back to her because they feel like, oh, she's been abused. She went through hard times. So did I. Maybe one day I can be rich and famous like her. Hi, Oyela. Thanks for joining the live. So basically, I want you guys to understand that Oprah is tied to a lot of dirty, dirty people, and a lot of her own business practices and her own independent ventures also have yielded more victims of sexual abuse. And it's very weird because it's too much of it surrounding her name and her brand for her name and her brand to not be tarnished by it. When people have a lot of money, of course, they can invest in keeping things secret, shutting people up, whether through paying them off or intimidating them. But the Hollywood cult that they're all a part of, the first rule that they keep between each other is secrecy. But there was a time when celebrities were exposing Oprah Winfrey. So I'm going to show you guys all of that, as well as all of the type of allegations that have surrounded people that she's had on her show. So there's a singer named Seal. He had some hit music like in the 90s. He posted this on his, I guess, Twitter. He posted a meme and it shows Oprah Winfrey kissing Harvey Weinstein. And Seal wrote, or maybe he reposted, somebody else might have made this meme. When you have been part of the problem for decades, but suddenly they all think you are the solution. And so you see Oprah Winfrey here being all kissy kissy with Harvey Weinstein. And then at the bottom, Harvey Weinstein is reaching for Rita Ora. And Oprah is looking like, yeah, Rita, go ahead, get him. Meanwhile, Harvey Weinstein is now in jail for taking advantage of women against their will in those hotel rooms in a process that they call the casting couch, if you guys know what I mean. So I was going to talk about Jeffrey Epstein's flight log and the different celebrities on that list, but it's so many people on that list. I'm going to have to do a separate video about the flight log. The only thing I want to point out from this screenshot that I took for you guys is that Oprah Winfrey is one of the many well-known celebrities who were on that flight log. It says here Oprah, and right after her, Oprah Winfrey, it says Jay-Z, Beyonce. These are some of the well-known celebrities who have visited Weinstein's, I mean, not Weinstein, what is his name? Epstein, Jeffrey Epstein's island, where people who have survived it, the victims, have been able to say there was a lot of abuse of people being taken advantage of sexually against their will. However, even though Oprah was on that flight log, the question is, how is she able to still maintain a high level of positive influence and reputation when she's tied to so many people who are tied to so many different sex crimes? Well, the first thing is, you got to understand that when it comes to the Devil's Network, the number one thing that they're concerned with and interested in is money. So there was something called the Oprah effect, where when she had her talk show on television, the Oprah effect refers to the boost in sales that follows an endorsement on the Oprah Winfrey Show, which aired on TV for 25 years. So basically, due to her endorsements, many fashion and lifestyle brands have become multi-billion-dollar businesses. So this will be the first reason why Oprah's brand has been allowed to endure all of the sex scandals that surround her. It's all about money. As long as you're raking in the money, the industry will turn a blind eye to all of your dirty dealings. Furthermore, Oprah is promoting a new world order type of agenda, an agenda where religion is replaced by people thinking that they are God and thinking that they can just use the powers of their mind to manifest miracles. And so the whole reason why Oprah Winfrey Show was allowed to be on the air for so long and was pushed on the public and maintained a certain level of popularity is because she was promoting these type of new world order, or also called new age religions. And these type of religions targeted people that were in traditional religions like the Abrahamic religions, and then replaced what people were believing in, the God of the Bible, for example, with you yourself as an individual can make miracles happen without having any relationship with God. When I did a Google search for Oprah and the occult, it came up here. The first thing that came up was, are you a good witch or a bad witch? The next thing that came up was a book that she promoted on her show, which became extremely popular and became a New York Times bestseller because of the Oprah Winfrey effect, by this guy called Eckhart Tolle. And he wrote a book, A New Earth, Awakening to Your Life's Purpose. This is a reference to the New World Order. This idea that if everyone uses their mental mind powers, they can create a collective force that will change the world. The question is, if the type of people that Oprah deals with are sinister, are predators, are abusive, are taking people against their will, are these the type of people that we want running the new earth and the new world that they think they're going to create without God? Okay. So these are just some of the philosophies that the new earth and the awakening that they're trying to promote puts out. I can't go over this because it's a lot of information, but I just want to point out one or two quick things, because in a few minutes I'm going to show you how these are some of the philosophies that Oprah pushes on her show. So down here at the bottom of this, it says Tibetan rainbow body ascension, meditation, and MK Ultra, which is mind control. These are the type of philosophies and theories that Oprah pushes on her show through the people that she interviews. And when she promotes their books, these are the type of things that they're talking about. They have very similar philosophies. So Oprah is not randomly picking random people to promote their books and give them a chance to, become successful off of the Oprah effect. They all have to fall into some type of philosophy that is only valid under this new earth and this new great awakening that they're trying to create. So remember these words: rainbow, meditation, and mind control. These are going to come up a little bit later when I show you some more information on Oprah. This is another form of that same vault of culture, which is basically these are the philosophies that the New World Order elites want the celebrities to push on the general public. If you expand your screen, you should be able to see this more clearly. But again, it's a lot of information. I just want to point out a couple of things that you will notice repetitively Oprah featured on her show: dissociative identity disorder, alters, handlers, patsies, trauma-based mind control, Project Marnock. Okay, and then there's also a reference here to HARP, which some people said is an energy weapon that, when directed, can cause destruction or natural kind of disasters to occur, such as wildfires and other types of natural disasters. Remember these things I'm saying to you now, because as this video goes on, I'm going to show you where Oprah is related to all of these different types of things in terms of the Hawaiian wildfires, as well as the activities of people that she promotes on her show. All right, guys. So anything dealing with past life regression, higher self, energy healing, psychics, channeling, multidimensional beings, extraterrestrials. These are the type of things that Oprah's people that she had on her show always promoted. All right. So they already have an agenda of how they want to brainwash the masses. So nobody got on Oprah's show unless they have a book or a philosophy that falls under the type of mental programming they want to put the public under to steer everybody towards the New World Order. And yes, oh yeah, I agree with you. She is a known witch, but a lot of people don't know that she's a witch. Some people think, she's just either a really good person because she does charity work, or some people just think she's just a bitch. Like, I don't like her, I don't trust her. But I don't think a lot of people really understand that she really, really is a witch. But we're going to expose that in this video. Oprah Winfrey talked about transcendental meditation. She says 9 in the morning and 4:30 in the afternoon, no matter what is going on, we stop and we meditate. And you can't imagine what has happened in the company. People who used to have migraines don't. People are sleeping better. They are having better relationships. So she's admitting that the people who work with her and her staff, they have to participate in transcendental meditation. This is a very specific practice that does not involve God at all. It says below that Oprah Winfrey introduces transcendental meditation. She was on the cover of Time magazine, and she also introduced this philosophy on her talk show. A number of celebrities have also claimed to practice transcendental meditation, including Ellen DeGeneres and Russell Simmons. Now, Ellen DeGeneres was exposed to be such a disgraceful and disrespectful person that she got fired from her own show. Okay. And Russell Simmons, we know he moved out of America to a country that has no extradition policy with America after he got hit with a barrage of sexual assault lawsuits. So if they're doing this transcendental meditation, and it's really just a good thing and a positive thing and a healthy thing, why are these people racking up all types of sexual assault allegations left and right? Oprah also was the main person who promoted and made the movie and the book The Secret popular. She had the people who made the movie and acted in the movie, as well as the people who wrote the book, on her show numerous times. It says here Oprah Winfrey is a proponent of the book The Secret by Rhonda Byrne, which claims that if you follow its philosophy, you can create the life that you want. So basically, it's about using your mind to create what you want. Like I said, the problem with that is only God is the creator. God is the one who put your soul in your body. So if you think that you are the one that's creating everything, that is the equivalent of the same thing the devil said, that he could be God. And the thing is, I don't see people making miracles. So I don't understand why people are so easy to believe in what other people tell them, like, oh, you're God, you can do anything. It's absolutely not true. But because of Oprah devoting episodes of her daytime talk show to discussing the book and the movie, it catapulted The Secret to the top of the US bestseller lists. Okay? So Oprah has to keep promoting these type of philosophies. It's part of her responsibility, and this is why she's put on the main stage. And if you notice, Oprah is said to be one of the richest people in the world, but she's never stopped working. And that's what people don't understand about the Devil Network. Once you make your deal with the devil, you can never stop working for the devil. A lot of the money that these people are supposed to be worth, the minute they stop working for the devil, everything that they've earned is taken away from them. There are so many celebrities who tried to change or tried to tell the truth, and they lost all of the money that they had. They lost all of the endorsements. They went from millionaire to zero in a very short time. So it never pays to work for the devil. It says here Oprah has made it no secret that she credits the law of attraction for the remarkable levels of success that she enjoys today. So she doesn't praise God for her, abilities and talents and energy and empowerment. No, she says the law of attraction, which is a philosophy. Okay, so that's what she believes, and that's fine. She says it says here Oprah Winfrey credits the law of attraction for her success, stating that it helped her overcome the difficulties of her youth and become the inspirational woman she is today. Okay. So, once again, she has no appreciation for the creator who keeps the sun up in the sky. Okay? She has no appreciation for God who keeps our heart beating even when we sleep. No, everything she has, she owes to the law of attraction, according to her. Alrighty, Oprah interviews Abraham Hicks, Law of Attraction. So she interviews the person who wrote the books about the law of attraction. That person is Esther Hicks, and she claims to be channeling a group of extraterrestrial beings. Now, a few minutes ago, when I read to you guys a little portion of the Great Awakening Culture Vault, I mentioned extraterrestrial beings, meditation, and because these are the type of things that she has to promote. Her agenda has to stay within the confines of the Great Awakening map because this is the direction they want to take people in. Believing in extraterrestrial beings, channeling spirits that are not of God. What kind of spirits is this woman channeling? We don't know. But if it's not godly, it's best to assume it's the work of the devil. It says here New Age Oprah mocks God and Jesus on The Late Show with Stephen Colbert. This is something people have to do in Hollywood. Part of their script is to constantly make jokes and mock and belittle people who actually believe in God and who believe in the Bible. And so when she goes on other people's shows, they all do the same thing. They just do it together. Below that, it says New Age advocate channels an ancient spirit on command. And this is from the Oprah Winfrey Show. These are the type of people that she used to interview. This is another show from 1988. This woman says she can channel a spirit. Okay, when somebody says they're channeling a spirit, whether it's these white women or this other white woman, Esther Hicks or whatever, they're possessed. For the time that they are channeling, that is a form of demon possession. They are allowing uh, another spirit, an entity from, they don't even know where this entity is from, to possess them and inhabit their body and use them to speak. That's very weird. And I'm surprised more people haven't called this out sooner. That's not what you want, because once you let some type of spiritual entity possess your body, how do you get rid of that? How do you then say, oh no, you got to go, we're done here? It doesn't work like that. Now you're stuck with making you do things you may or may not want to do. They have their own, there are spirits that roam that want a human body, but they want to do stuff like take drugs, have sex, be violent. These entities have their own will that they want to act out through a human body. Pastor Stephen Darby had done a sermon years ago. It's on YouTube. It's called Your Celebrities Are Channelers. And he broke down how all of the like actors on TV and movies and even people in the sports fields and other fields that we don't really think too much about, they're still a part of this network of occult spirituality where they channel foreign, spirits to come in their body and give them a better use of their skills and talents. So there are definitely sports people, singers and rappers who channel demonic spirits to improve their performance. Below that, he talked about Grammy idols and puppets, that the only people that are invited to these type of award shows that we see on TV and these gatherings, these parties and events that they have every year, they all have to be in this network of people who have these spiritual beliefs that we would consider to be the occult. It's very dangerous because they have rituals that they do at certain times of the year. Some of those rituals can be very dangerous. It could cause people to get hurt. Sometimes they have to participate in group orgies. Sometimes they have to give blood. It's a lot that goes into what they do to maintain their fame and fortune. A lot of the bad behaviors they participate in are videotaped and held as like blackmail, so that if any celebrity ever gets out of line, then they will release tapes of the different rituals that they performed to pledge their allegiance to the God that they serve, which is the devil, let's be honest. Anyway, here is Taraji P. Henson. She's on a press tour promoting a movie that just came out called The Color Purple. First thing you notice, Oprah Winfrey sitting there doing the pyramid hand sign. Okay. Taraji was explaining that being an actor is very spiritual. This is from YouTube Shorts. It's called Taraji P. Henson looked out for Fantasia on the set of The Color Purple. So Taraji is saying being an actor is very spiritual. Taraji says, when you're playing a character, this character, you allow it to use your body as a vessel. Okay? This is Taraji P. Henson openly admitting that when they are acting, they are allowing a spirit to possess their body and use them as a vessel. And that's the reason why actors are able to give certain types of performances that are very convincing or like just very dramatic. Like, how did this person manage to, change their personality and inhabit another character? It's through a spiritual form of possession. Taraji goes on to say you have to be able to flip that switch on and off, or it could drive you mad. So them allowing some type of spiritual entity to possess their body so they could give a dramatic performance, she's saying if you can't control that, it will drive you crazy. She goes on to say, and then it's your cross to bear. So basically, she's saying that when these actors are portraying characters, they are actually carrying a foreign entity in their body. Back in the day on the Oprah Show, this is from 1987, Oprah had two witches explain the misconceptions faced by their community. So Oprah gave them a platform to talk about how witches are not so bad after all. But the truth is, it's very easy to do a quick Google search. Witches literally serve the devil. That is what it is. It's a demonic level in the satanic church to be a witch or a warlock. It's not a good thing. It's not a positive thing. A lot of the things that witches do are very harmful to other people. It's like they have to energy harvest through negative energy, through negativity, pain, suffering, humiliation. Those are the type of energies and emotions and moods that they want to evoke. They're not interested in being happy and laughing and having a good time with your friends and family. They are talking about dark magic, which deals with a lot of death and destruction. It is what it is. We got to be honest about this stuff and stop pretending that it's okay. So, this is Oprah in 1987 interviewing the two witches and allowing them to explain how they're misunderstood. So, Oprah's role was to give them space to try to convince the public that what they're into is not so bad. And if it's not so bad, then why does she look so terrible? I mean, she looks horrible. She looks like a stereotypical witch. If you've ever seen cartoons where they have witches, this is how they look. They draw them just like this. I don't know what's wrong with these people. All of that stuff is bad, guys, because once they open their door to different type of like spiritual entities, they start getting haunted. And like Taraji said, it can drive you crazy. It's like, why are y'all doing this stuff? It's not healthy. Someone put together a video using some of Oprah's words, and it was supposed to be a motivational video, like, you can do it, believe in yourself, whatever. And Oprah literally says, she starts talking about Glinda the Good Witch. And it's like, of all of the examples and references that you could make towards giving a motivational speech, why would you reference Glinda the Good Witch? It's, first of all, it's fake. It's just a story. And I think that there are good parts of the movie The Wizard of Oz that you could use to motivate people, like the Cowardly Lion and the Tin Man and the Scarecrow. That was about, having a brain, having a heart, having courage. That would be the inspirational, motivational things to talk about. But nope, Oprah's going to use the witch as her point of reference to give you motivation. And witches don't motivate. They do magic spells to get what they want. They don't use the powers of their mind or self-confidence or working hard to achieve their goals in life. They do rituals that involve a lot of death and destruction to try to get what they want out of life. Here's a picture. TMZ caught Oprah turning up at a Beyonce and Jay-Z concert. Now, remember I showed you guys a few minutes ago, Oprah, Jay-Z, and Beyonce are on those Epstein flight logs. All right, so here's Oprah turning up at the Jay-Z and Beyonce concert, throwing up the pyramid hand sign, because that's what they do at the Jay-Z and Beyonce concerts. And the people at TMZ were talking about how Oprah was like all the way in the back in the bad seats. She wasn't even like, backstage or someplace that you would think she would be because she's rich and famous. But she was so desperate to be in a company of that toxic energy, she took any old bad seats just to be able to throw up the rock with them. The reporter who talked about on a different news show, Beyonce's ex-drummer accuses her of witchcraft. So Beyonce had an all-female band that toured with her. The drummer that toured with her for years, she filed a lawsuit against Beyonce. She said Beyonce killed her cat and was controlling her finances and threatening her with witchcraft. And unfortunately, the drummer's case was thrown out of court because they probably thought she was crazy. But if you look at any of Beyonce's videos, you can see all of the elements of witchcraft in them. Anyway, I just wanted to point out how this reporter is doing the diamond hand sign, just like Oprah was doing at the Jay-Z and Beyonce concert. So even at the low level of a television news reporter, they're still having to be a part of this devil network just to be, on TV. You can't just be in that world without being a part of the occult. So even as she's talking about Beyonce's drummer, she has to throw up the pyramid hand sign to show that she's a part of that network as well. So they know very well that Beyonce's doing witchcraft because they do it too. I looked up what is the esoteric and occult meaning of the color purple because this movie was popular when it came out in the 80s and now they've done a remake. They did a Broadway installment of it as well a few years ago. So I was curious about what does the color purple mean to people who practice witchcraft. And it says the color purple is associated with various meanings, including wisdom, creativity, royalty, power, ambition, luxury, magic, extravagance, peace, pride, independence, and wealth. At the bottom, it says it is great for inviting sadness and resentment in others. It also says it can be used to apply inciting others to tyranny, abuse of power, idealism, and influence people who have power over you. So there are elements in this esoteric definition that definitely fit into the esoteric information that Oprah talks about on her show, such as magic, okay? Such as having influence over people and talking about inviting sadness and resentment in others. And that's what happens on the Oprah Winfrey Show. A lot of her subject matter brings up bad, negative feelings of trauma and abuse that people have suffered. And definitely the movie, The Color Purple, definitely it gives you feelings of sadness and resentment. So it's very interesting. The movie is called The Color Purple, and it has elements of these type of energies and emotions and moods, the kind of spell that they want to cast on the audience. Another thing I wanted to mention about the occult is they have a practice of doing things backwards. So for example, Oprah Winfrey's studio is Harpo, which is her name Oprah spelled backwards. And the OWN network, OWN, is the New World Order backwards, NWO. Every time you're dealing with people that's on the main stage, high up in mainstream media, television, music, sports, anything where you constantly see the person in a lot of, places and endorsements and deals, they are often pushing agendas that have a reverse meaning. So it looks one way to the general public, but it has a much deeper meaning for people who believe in and practice the occult. They call it the law of reversal. Everything has to be upside down, backwards, wearing your clothes backwards, writing things down backwards. They take this backwards ritual kind of behavior very seriously. It's very meaningful to them. And it could just be a easy way for them to communicate to each other in public, right in front of all of our faces, but we can't decipher and decode the messages. It says here, Harpo Productions subsidiaries consist of Harpo Print, which is their publishing house. Harpo originally owned 50% of the Oprah Winfrey Network, along with Discovery Communications, which purchased 24% of OWN in 2017 and another 20% in 2020, leaving Harpo with 5% ownership. So basically, Oprah started off owning her company, but over time, the bigger players in the Devil's Network have been buying her out of her own companies. Now, I don't think it really much matters whether she owns them or whether the larger networks own her channels at this point, because she always was conforming to the agenda, whether she owned her work or not. The only reason she's on TV, has a network, is because she's down with the agenda to teach people all type of occult philosophies. That's what really matters. She had this guy on her show consistently multiple times because remember, she had the talk show, but once she got her own network, she started doing a lot of different types of series. One of them was called like Masterclass, and Super Soul Sundays and book clubs where she reviewed, different books people wrote or whatever. So this guy was featured on her show a number of times. He calls himself John of God, and he claimed to have miraculous healing powers as if he was God himself. He was able to just lay his hands on people and heal them from all sorts of different diseases just because that was his special power. Well, this is how Oprah marketed him. Well, what wound up happening is that he wound up getting arrested after about 200 women accused him of sexual assault. So how do you go from a celebrity healer called John of God, featured on the Oprah Show, to forcing women against their will? It says here, John of God now faces 370 years in jail. John of God is a self-styled Brazilian faith healer. His legacy of sexual crimes, abuse, deception, and child trafficking was unearthed in 2018. More than 300 women have contacted prosecutors claiming that he sexually abused them. Okay? But he was featured on Oprah Show, and the public was told he's a spiritual healer who performs surgeries without anesthesia. Now, you mean to tell me Oprah Winfrey is not smart enough to not promote a man who claims that he could perform surgery with no anesthesia? But she had the man on the show. She promoted him. And meanwhile, he's tied to trafficking of children and sexually abusing more than 300 women. More than 300 women contacted prosecutors. And now he's facing more than 370 years in jail. Okay? So I don't understand. Why isn't Oprah's philosophies, her transcendental meditations, her law of attraction, like, why is it attracting these type of people? Oprah Winfrey also featured the Dalai Lama on her shows. She had his books. She had him on her Super Soul Sunday. She had him in different interviews in her magazine, old magazine, like she continuously featured this Dalai Lama character. What happened with him? He was accused of pedophilia after asking a boy to suck his tongue. That was just earlier this year in April. Dalai Lama apologizes for asking young boy to suck his tongue in a video. When Dalai Lama did this, it was out in public, and it was, a lot of people were around videotaping and filming. So the fact that he felt comfortable to ask a young child, the boy was probably like 8 years old, for Dalai Lama to sit in a crowded room in public in front of people and ask a child to suck his tongue, it goes to show he was very comfortable doing stuff like that to underage people. Okay, so a lot of people were outraged by it. They spoke up about it, but people are not making the connection. Dalai Lama became extremely well known and popular because he had been featured on Oprah Winfrey Show numerous of times. Deepak Chopra is another one. During his first visit to the Oprah Winfrey Show in 1993, Deepak Chopra wanted to prove that the power of our minds can manifest physical changes in the world. So once again, we have another guest that has been frequently featured on Oprah's show. He's been in her magazine. He's written a number of books. She's promoted his books. And she's had him on many, many times, pushing his philosophies that you can do anything with the power of your mind. She has ongoing seminars featuring him. 21-day meditation experience. Again, what are they meditating on? Channeling spirits. Okay? Talking about tuning into your body. In 1996, a former employee filed a sexual harassment lawsuit against Deepak Chopra, alleging that he made numerous unwelcome sexual advances, and she had to answer calls from other women with whom Chopra was having affairs. In 2000, a jury unanimously rejected the lawsuit, and Chopra denied the allegations and filed a suit against the accuser for blackmail. However, a jury rejected his claim. Chopra is a New Age spiritual teacher, leader, author, and public speaker who's authored many books, including Ageless Body, Timeless Mind, and other books. So he teaches with the power of your mind, you could never get sick and you won't grow old. That's the type of stuff that he's teaching people. You see him here doing a 666 hand sign and wearing a t-shirt that says spiritual gangster. But the spirituality that he believes in is the power of his mind. Okay? And he's telling people you can be ageless if you buy his books and go to his seminars, which of course you have to pay a lot of money for. This is an older video of him on YouTube where he was talking about transform your health with the power of your mind. Another video where he says your mind is unlimited. Deepak Chopra on the power of meditation to unlock infinite possibilities. He talks about how to reverse chronic illness in biological age. So basically, if you're getting older, you can reverse it, meaning you can make yourself get younger just by the powers of your mind. So somebody please tell me, why does he look like this at the moment? Why isn't he using all of the powers of his mind to reverse his aging? Okay? After all of these years that he has made ridiculous millions and millions of dollars on this philosophy of using your mind to heal your body and never grow old, why isn't anybody questioning why he looks like this now? He looks quite old. His eyes, this big heavy bags under his eyes. And to top it off, he's a real medical doctor. He's not a fake doctor like a lot of the people that Oprah puts on her network. He's a real medical doctor. So you would think he would know some things about biology, chemistry, science. Okay? But instead, he's selling products telling people use your mind and you'll never get old. And he looks like he got a foot in the grave. He looks quite sick to me. He's 70 years old. I looked up some pictures of 70-year-old black men. They don't look as worn out as he does. I think they look a lot healthier and happier. And they're not out here selling books on the power of your mind to reverse your age and never grow old. They're not out here teaching people a whole lot of lies. But this guy is. So let's get back to Oprah and her sex scandals with these people. Harvey Weinstein, one of her friends. A lot of people might think, oh, well, these are just industry people. They always have to pretend they know each other. But it's obvious that they kind of do like each other. She's kissing him on the cheek. You don't really ever see Oprah being very friendly with people, especially not black people. But you see how she's all lovey-dovey, hugged up. She's always got her hands on him, hugging him. She have a lot of affection for this guy. And now he's in jail for countless, sexual assault allegations. So it's like people are wondering, Oprah, did you know about this? Did you know what he was doing? Because you seem to be very cool with him. And you seem like somebody who, would cover up for him in some kind of way. So recently, she went on this morning show, CBS This Morning, and they asked her on the show. They said, you have not commented on the fact that your friend, Harvey Weinstein, is now in jail, convicted of sexual assault on numerous women. Why haven't you spoken on this, Oprah? So Oprah says, I think that I'm always trying to look for the rainbow in the cloud, the whatever is the silver lining. Now, remember, I showed you guys at the beginning of the video. This rainbow talk is one of their philosophies that they have to promote. So she says she's looking for the rainbow in the cloud. And she says, this is what I do know for sure. When something this major happens, when you have the fallout, 50 women coming forward, that's a watershed moment. And what I do believe is actually happening is that, first of all, it's triggering a lot of unreleased pain, repressed anger, guilt, and suffering that a lot of women have had. Okay? Now, what does that have to do with the fact that your boy is in jail? Like, she's talking about, she's looking for the rainbow in the cloud, the silver lining, and that the victims have a lot of unreleased pain, repressed anger, guilt, and suffering. Why would the victims have guilt? Okay? She's not saying anything about Harvey Weinstein. She says everybody has a story. And so I think that this is a watershed moment. And if we just make this about Harvey Weinstein, then we will have lost this moment. Girl, it is about Harvey Weinstein. They asked you, what are your thoughts on the fact that he's currently in prison and convicted of those sex crimes? And she refused to answer the question. Now, on her show, she likes to expose other people. She likes to have victims of different types of, traumatic events in their life come on her show and tell everything, spill their guts of all of their worst times in life and their most depressing moments. But when you ask her a question, she wants to deflect and change the subject and start spreading the blame all around and call the victims guilty of something. That's crazy. How can you say you don't want to make this about Harvey Weinstein? That's the question they asked you. Somebody put a comment below that. They said, Oprah didn't answer the question. She played the victim game. She actually dodged the whole issue and protected Harvey. Someone else put a comment. They said, the world says Harvey looks guilty. Oprah says, let's focus on the late Michael Jackson instead. The reason why that's a very interesting comment is because Oprah did like a whole show, documentary series on exposing the allegations of Michael Jackson, that he was some type of predator over children. Those type of allegations haunted Michael throughout his career. And Oprah did some shows where she interviewed two of his victims. But the thing is, the two people she had on the show, they had accused Michael of touching them when they were kids, but then they recanted the story and said that they had made it up and they were lying. And then Oprah, after Michael Jackson passed away, she went and found those two people and interviewed them again from the perspective of they never recanted their story, if that makes sense to you guys. She asked them to rehash the whole story as if they had never recanted it. So a lot of people were mad at Oprah because they were like, why are you dragging Michael Jackson for these allegations, but you won't say anything about Harvey Weinstein? She picks and chooses who she wants to expose. The rapper 50 Cent said Oprah is an enemy and he was completely against her because she's only going after black men accused of sexual assault. 50 Cent says that her friend Gayle King helped them to resolve their feud because he was exposing Oprah like crazy for a minute, just bringing up all of the different type of predators that she was letting get away with stuff like Harvey Weinstein and other people that I mentioned. And I think he has a good point. I think all predators should be exposed. It doesn't matter if you're black or white. That's not the issue. The issue is, why is she picking and choosing? Why are some people off limits, but other people, she goes at them full force? Rihanna admitted to Oprah Winfrey that she still loved Chris Brown. And then Oprah Winfrey got on Rihanna on public television. She was like, no, you shouldn't just forgive him like that. You need to be like a strong survivor of that domestic violence for other young girls to learn from your example. So Oprah knows how to hold other people accountable to standing up and exposing abuse. But Oprah herself does not hold herself accountable to exposing people who have been convicted of abuse. So even when Rihanna was telling Oprah that she forgave Chris Brown, Oprah was like, no, that's not acceptable. Right? But it's acceptable for her to completely ignore all of the things that Harvey Weinstein have done. So Chris Brown was upset with Oprah about that. He felt that it, took a bad hit to his career. But granted, whatever violence took place between him and Rihanna, he's the one who diminished his career with his bad choices and bad behavior, you know? But still, it proves the point. Oprah has no problem identifying when black men are out of order, but she won't say anything about her Hollywood friends when they're out of order. Also, the comedian Monique exposed Oprah. She called Oprah out for mistreating and underpaying her. And she said that when she spoke out about it, Oprah had her blackballed from the acting industry and made her lose job opportunities simply because she demanded more pay for her role in a movie that was produced by Oprah, Tyler Perry, and Lee Daniels called Precious. So basically, Monique said they only paid her $50,000 to do the movie. And then they told her that she had to go on a press tour with them all over the world. But she would have had to pay for all of her flights, all of her wardrobe, all of her hair, all of her makeup, all of that for the whole press tour would have had to come out of her pocket. And she felt like y'all only paid me $50,000 for the movie. That's not enough money for me to then spend everything y'all paid me to go on a press tour for free for no extra pay. So Monique said no. And because of that, they got together and blackballed Monique from further acting opportunities. Monique said that when Oprah was asked later on why she never responded to Monique exposing Oprah about, saying that Oprah blackballed her, Oprah said that she's taken the high road because Monique is negative. And Oprah said, I'm not going to feed into negative energy. And that's really weird because that wasn't the question that she was asked. The question she was asked is, does she have a comment or an opinion about the fact that Monique feels that Oprah blackballed her? So what Oprah does is classic textbook narcissist behavior. Deflect, gaslight, change the subject, talk about something else, make yourself the victim. Just saying that Monique is negative, that doesn't answer the question. Of course, if somebody tried to force you to work for free and then spread rumors about you so that you wouldn't be able to get other jobs, of course you would be upset. That would make anybody feel negative. So for Oprah to just dismiss Monique as a negative person just goes to show that the image that Oprah puts out of herself is not really who she is. She lacks compassion, she lacks empathy, and she's just not a kind or good or generous person that she portrays herself to be. Monique said what Oprah did was malicious and intentional and ugly. And Monique said, I would tell Oprah Winfrey, you know what you need to do. Stop hiding behind what you called was negative comments. What you call, oh, I don't even deal with things like that, Monique said, because people are beginning to see you for who you are, Oprah. So Monique was basically saying, Oprah tried to play it off by saying, oh, I don't respond to negativity. But meanwhile, Monique is like, nope, you're getting exposed. Just because you gave that little whack response doesn't mean that people can't see straight through you. Monique even went on to say that Tyler Perry apologized to her. He offered a public apology. Monique says she had the recording of Tyler Perry apologizing to her, and she played it for people like Kevin Hart and Al Sharpton. But the only person who was not willing to show any remorse or apologize to her was Oprah Winfrey. And once again, that's not the image that Oprah Winfrey portrays. You would think that from all of those years of her running that Oprah Winfrey Show, if all of those people that was selling all of those books about spirituality and awakening and meditation and the power of your mind and the power of positive thinking, why are all of these people so evil and wicked? Not only did Oprah have Monique blackballed, but even before that happened, uh, Oprah had invited Monique's family onto her show because Monique had trusted Oprah and told her that she had been a victim of molestation inside of her family, that her older brother had touched her when she was very, very young, like 7 years old to like 11 years old. Her older brother was touching on her. She told her parents, her mom and her dad, and they didn't believe her, and they sided with her brother. So Monique didn't have a good relationship with her family as a result of that. Monique even went so far as to say that her role in Precious was based on her brother, his character. And that's the reason why she was able to play that role so well, even though it was such a negative character. And so Monique said she told Oprah about what she went through with her own family, as like opening up to Oprah, thinking that they were friends. And she was very shocked and surprised when Oprah had her mother and her father and both of her brothers on the Oprah Winfrey Show. So it wasn't something that Monique had agreed to. It was something that Monique felt Oprah took advantage of her and used her secrets as a form of entertainment and personal profit. Okay. And Oprah asked Monique if she wanted to come on the show. And Monique told Oprah she didn't have an issue with her inviting the brother who touched her on the show, but she didn't want anything to do with it because Oprah also involved three more of her family members that she didn't want them to be a part of it. Monique said if she had known that Oprah was going to have her parents on, she would have shut it down. She would have told Oprah, no, don't do that. But Oprah went and did all of this stuff behind her back. And Monique is thinking that they're friends. Monique said Oprah really only cared about her ratings. And that really hurt Monique deeply. And she basically feels that Oprah got Monique to trust her and spilled her trauma. Then she took advantage of that trust for her own benefit. All right. Talked a little bit about taraji at the beginning of the video, but now I want to talk about taraji from a different angle. Even though taraji has been on the tour of promoting the new version of the Color Purple movie that they put it out like a week ago. Actually, yeah, not even a week, maybe like 5 or 6 days ago, it just came out. So even though taraji is on tour, because she's a character in this new adaptation of the Color Purple, taraji has also been complaining about not being paid well. Taraji says when she, as a Black woman, approaches a new film project, they always try to pay her too low, and she always has to negotiate with them. Even though she's been acting for more than 20 years, even though she has done a couple of big projects, I think the show she was on, was it called Empire, where she played Cookie? I think that was a really big, big deal for her. And so what happens is when you work on a project and it's really successful and it gets really high ratings, every job you do after that in that acting world, you're supposed to get paid more and more money. But Taraji says she hasn't received a pay raise in 5 years since 2018. Her pay has been the same, and she's had to negotiate to even get it. They're not paying her the way they pay, white actors, for example. So, anyway, Taraji expressed her frustration because she is an Oscar and Emmy nominee. Again, these are things that are supposed to make an actor's pay rate go up. Taraji expressed her frustration with the industry and her desire to quit acting. She claims she's exhausted from working tirelessly, being undervalued, and hearing similar stories from her fellow actresses. She said, I see what you do for another production, and when it's time for us to go to bat, you don't have any money. So basically, she works with producers and, movie executives. And when they do their movies with the white people, they get paid much higher salaries. But when it comes time for them to do movies with the Black actors, they say, oh, we don't have any money. Taraji says they have to get paid. She says they pay her so low for her acting roles that 80% of her income goes towards taxes and paying those people around her, meaning the hair people, the wardrobe people, the stylist, the lawyer, the accountant. Like they pay her so low that she's only retaining about 20% of the money that she earns. Someone put a comment. They said, I'm actually so in shock over Taraji being underpaid when she literally paved the way for Black actresses and has been on my TV since I was a kid. Pay that woman what she's owed. Okay, Taraji has been acting for at least 20 years straight, consistently. So for her to say she basically receives very little pay, it is kind of shocking. right? And Taraji even said she almost had to walk away from The Color Purple for the same reason, lowballing her with the pay. So she almost didn't do The Color Purple movie. And she's saying all of this stuff. The movie just came out a few days ago. So while she's supposed to be on the press tour promoting the movie, she's having this whole breakdown and starting to say they are not, even Oprah is not paying right. Now, a lot of people would say it's not Oprah's job to pay you, but Oprah is an executive producer over the film. So she has a high level of power and control in this situation. So you can't just write Taraji P. Henson off because she's an established actress. She has a long time acting. She's been nominated for Emmys and Oscars. She was on a hit television show. So by all of the standards that we see white actors and actresses get paid, Taraji should be right up there with them too. She's reached the same level of accomplishment of people who get paid more than her, if you guys understand that. Now, I just want to talk for a minute about Viola Davis. I wanted to bring her up because I can understand that some people might say, oh, Taraji's not that good of an actress. She's not all that because she plays like a lot of like I don't know what to call it. Her character in a lot of her movies that she's the most well known for is like a person that's in the hood, kind of like a hood rat. She has movies where she plays like intelligent, professional black female roles. But the roles that she does that's the most popular is when she acts kind of ghetto, like a hood rat. So a lot of people will probably just say she's really not a good actress because that's all they know her for is those roles. So let's use a different actress, somebody who most people should recognize, Viola Davis. Now, this lady also has been going on different interviews and saying the same thing as Taraji. The Viola Davis said, we don't talk about gender inequality of pay because a lot of the women who stepped forward and she says she stands in solidarity with them, they're getting paid half of what men get paid. So already, Viola Davis is saying women make half of what the men make. And then on top of that, black women only get like 1/10 of what the white women get. Viola Davis is another one who's been acting for more than 20 years. Viola has done a lot of big blockbuster movies with a lot of big time, well known actors. And I'm quite sure she's award winning as well. She had a hit television show, How to Get Away with Murder. And she's been in a lot of hit movies. So you would think that Viola Davis would be up there by now because she's performing in productions that's become very successful. So the money is there. They're just choosing not to give it to black women. Viola says she has an Oscar, she has an Emmy, she had got 2 Tonys, she's done Broadway, she's done TV, she's done film. She said her career is comparable to Meryl Streep and Julianne Moore. She said that she went through the same training of becoming an actress as the white women did, and she's got the same awards and credentials under her belt as the white women. But the money is nowhere close to it. Okay? Here's the thing. These people, okay, right now I'm going to speak specifically of black people. They want to join a club, Hollywood, which was not built for black people. The first hit movie ever, the first Hollywood blockbuster movie was called The Birth of a Nation. And it was a movie about the KKK. And it was a movie that degraded and put black people down. This was back in 1915, which was just about 30, 40 years after slavery was completely abolished. And so the KKK is a group of white men who believe that white people are superior to black people, and they would go around and terrorize black people. So if this was Hollywood's first blockbuster movie, a movie that basically praised the Ku Klux Klan for terrorizing black people, why do black people think Hollywood was built for them? They complaining. They need to all get together as black folks and put their money together and do their own black Hollywood and stop crying and begging for these white people who don't like you, who never did, who didn't build Hollywood for you. They built it to make themselves look good. That's how it is. I don't know. These people just want to work for the devil so bad. That's why I always say the devil is not going to do nothing but rag, tag, and drag you. Anyway, Samuel L. Jackson, an American actor and producer, he has a net worth of $250 million. He has appeared in over 150 films during his career, making him one of the highest grossing actors of all time in terms of worldwide box office gross for starring roles. His base salary for starring in a film role is $10 million. It says Jackson's films have sold millions of copies worldwide, making him one of the most respected actors of all time. He has a worldwide box office total of over $27 billion from his films, not including cameos. Jackson's financial advisor advised him not to open his own restaurant, as it is not sustainable for his bank account. All right, guys. So long story short, believe it or not, y'all not going to believe this. Samuel L. Jackson has been in the most top grossing movies. That means he's surpassed Brad Pitt, Tom Cruise. He surpassed all of the white guys in terms of the amount of money that the movies that he has starred in, how much money those movies have made. His movies have grossed $27 billion worldwide. Okay? So it's funny how, as much as Hollywood hates black people, we're the ones making them the most money. But he has a net worth of $250 million. Okay? So he's doing better than the women. But even though Tom Cruise has not made as much as him, it says Tom Cruise movies have earned $11.5 billion. Meanwhile, Sam Jackson movies have grossed $27 billion. So Sam Jackson has more than doubled made the amount of money through his movies for the movie studios than even Tom Cruise. But Sam Jackson is worth $250 million, but Tom Cruise is worth $600 million. You see what I'm saying? So even though Samuel Jackson his films have grossed more than double Tom Cruise worth is more than double Samuel Jackson. Okay? I hope you guys understand what I'm saying here, how I'm explaining this. Brad Pitt is worth $400 million, and he gets a premium of $20 million for each movie and $30 million up front he got for an Apple TV movie. Whereas Sam Jackson has outperformed him, but only has a $250 million net worth, and his salary is $10 million for a role. So these guys who Samuel L. Jackson has performed better than are making more than him. So the proof is right there. It's in the numbers. Viola Davis has a net worth of $25 million, 1/10 of Samuel Jackson's salary, or net worth, excuse me. Okay? So even though Viola Davis has Oscar, Emmy, hit TV show, all that success in that whole acting world, she's only worth $25 million. And I know it still sounds like a lot of money, but you guys know they don't have these numbers in cash. These numbers would be everything they have, everything they own added up. Whatever is considered to be their net worth is their earning potential, not actually the amount of money that they have in the form of cash. So it's really not even like they have that much money. But the point is, you see the difference in the income, in the disparity between people, between black people, between white people, between males and between females. Angela Bassett, a net worth of $25 million. Okay, so they won't, I guess that's the cap for black women, is $25 million. But Angela Bassett and Viola Davis, they've been in some pretty big television and movie productions. They've been acting alongside these rich and famous white people. So why are they not being treated as equals? Okay, that's what happens when you join the devil's network. Meryl Streep is one of the highest paid actors with a truly staggering net worth of $160 million. So this lady is worth 160 million, but these two black women is only worth 25 million each in their net worth. Okay? It's very obvious what's going on here. Two black women don't even add up to one white woman. Let's take it out of the realm of the whole Hollywood drama. This is from a channel called Black Culture Unlocked. They posted this. They said the next time you use any navigation device or software like Google Maps, thank Dr. Gladys West, the inventor of GPS technology. All right? Everybody uses GPS technology. It's on all of our cell phones. It's in all of our cars. It's on all of our devices, right? What is her net worth? Between $1 to $5 million. Now, in my opinion, she should at least have a net worth of 25 million because everybody is using GPS. It says Gladys Mae West is an American mathematician. She is known for her contributions to mathematical modeling of the shape of the Earth and her work on the development of satellite geodesy models that were later incorporated into the Global Positioning System, GPS. So she put in a lot of work to make this happen. Okay? And she's only worth $1 to $5 million. What's going on with the money? Okay? The money's moving in one direction, and it's not the direction of the people that are working the hardest. All right, let's get back to Oprah Winfrey. Celebrities who have exposed Oprah. One of them is Toni Braxton. There's a lot of celebrities that have exposed Oprah. Toni talked about Oprah Winfrey was so freaking mean to me. Oprah Winfrey did a TV interview with Toni Braxton, and Toni Braxton was shocked. She thought Oprah was going to be nice to her. They were going to talk like two, sisters and friends and just kiki and just talk and have a good time. But Oprah used Toni's bankruptcy and Oprah was clowning Toni on the show. And Toni said she felt like her career took a downfall after her appearance on the Oprah Winfrey Show because of how bad Oprah clowned her. Oprah was telling Toni, oh, you had to file for bankruptcy? Why don't you sell your Gucci plates? Who has Gucci plates? Oprah was like, I'm Oprah Winfrey. I don't even have Gucci plates. Like, Oprah was roasting her and putting her down. Like, it was weird because, Oprah tries to put up this image that she's motivational, inspirational, supportive, somebody you could talk to. No. Whenever she gets ready, like when she's on her, I need to get ratings and I'm going to exploit you, she's heartless, cruel, and cold. This 90s supermodel, Cindy Crawford, called out Oprah Winfrey for treating her like chattel. When Cindy Crawford was on the, I'm about to say the Wendy Williams show, the Oprah Winfrey Show, Oprah was like, oh, stand up and show off your body. And even though Cindy is a model, she just didn't expect Oprah to do that. It made her feel like a piece of meat, like Oprah was judging her body. And that is kind of rude and disrespectful because you're feeding into the notion that that's all a woman is good for, is her body and how good she looks. And that's not a message that you would expect Oprah to promote because she's supposed to be about empowerment. And if you're talking about empowering people, it's not about how you look. I mean, you could look any old kind of way and still be really good at whatever it is that you do, right? It's not all about like how attractive your body is. It's about how strong your mind is, how well educated you are, and how much you know about your field of expertise. Another celebrity who exposed Oprah was Ludacris, the rapper. He was on her show promoting a movie that he was a part of. And even though the cast of the movie was there with him, Oprah isolated him and told him that she didn't like his rap lyrics. And Ludacris made a lot of good points. He said that's not the reason why he was even on the show. The purpose of him being on that show was to promote that movie. And he didn't like how she came at him and said, "Oh, because you use the N-word." A lot of people use the N-word, and that's what's messed up about it. And Ludacris pointed out that it was hypocritical of her because she's had other people on her show who use the N-word, people like Dave Chappelle and Chris Rock. And Ludacris is not a gangster rapper. Most of his rap music is like party music or just like regular rap music, talking about your friends, your girlfriend, going out to eat. Luda was not rapping about abusing people, selling drugs, beating up women. He wasn't rapping like that. So for her to target him and embarrass him on national television, he was thrown off. He did not expect that. Right? So Oprah will stab anybody at any moment. Okay? She don't care. Ice Cube also exposed Oprah. When he got into making movies, she would invite the cast of his movies to be on her show, but she would not invite him because he used to do gangster rap music. Now, it's very true. He has a lot of lyrics that's very like talking about guns and violence and stuff like that. But how can you invite the people who were in the movie with him on the show to talk about the movie and not invite him when he is not only an actor but an executive producer in those movies? That is so rude, and it's so obvious that you singled him out. Just don't have the people on the show if you're not going to invite him too, you know? But he had talked about how she has all of these people with dark pasts and straight up convictions on her show, but she would leave him out and invite his co-stars instead. And he's right. Okay? She's not saying nothing about Harvey Weinstein. She's not saying nothing about John of God. She's not saying nothing about these people, Dalai Lama, doing pedophilia out in the open public like that. And I'm not saying that he shouldn't do it in the public because that's the only way we would know. But what I'm saying is if you could sit there and be a pedophile in the open public with a whole bunch of people filming you, that means that you're a pedophile in private too. You're very comfortable with it. So all of these type of people Oprah have around her that she's endorsing and promoting, but she can't have no rappers on her show because they curse and use the N-word. So Ice Cube exposed that. 50 Cent been exposing Oprah for a long time. He basically offered a job to Monique after Monique said Oprah and Tyler Perry and Lee Daniels blackballed her. 50 Cent hired the comedian Monique. He gave her an acting role on one of his TV shows. I didn't watch it, but people said she did really good. And 50 Cent was clowning Oprah. He was like, y'all better apologize to Monique. And that was, 50 is a troll. He trolls a lot of people. He starts a lot of drama. But I got to give him credit for standing up for Monique because nobody in Hollywood that was like, famous was standing up for her. She was telling the truth, but nobody would, acknowledge it. 50 was the only one to be like, she's right and y'all are wrong. Also, 50 Cent is speaking up for Taraji. 50 said that Taraji could also join his production crew, just like he gave work to Monique. And my thing is, that's what these black actors should do. They should just work together on their own projects and stop worrying about trying to make it big in the white people's devil network. It's so unnecessary. It's very unnecessary. They just want to be down with the devil so bad, and they're not even realizing it doesn't pay. They all work around the clock. They're all getting old. They look tired, and they still have to work every single day. Like, that's not good. If you're making all of these millions of dollars, you should be able to retire young. Invest your money in something that makes money, a business, a dry cleaner, a laundromat, a supermarket, real estate. You can invest money in a lot of things that just keep turning money over to keep going. But you notice all of these people, no matter how rich they get, they still got to work hard every day. Oprah, Jay-Z, Beyonce, 50 Cent, all of these people. Because that's what happens when you work for the devil. There's no rest for the wicked. The devil works these people to the bone. They die working. They never could quit once you start signing up for the devil. Anyway, here's a picture of Oprah with Lee Daniels and Harvey Weinstein. These men have so many allegations on them. Harvey's in jail, but Lee Daniels have a lot of allegations for ripping people off, borrowing money to do his big movie projects and not paying people back and all type of stuff like that. There's rumors that's not confirmed yet that he may have sexually harassed some men that were actors. They don't want to say names, but people are speculating that Lee Daniels is about to get exposed. So we'll wait and see if that really happens. Okay, this is going to be difficult. So, guys, I got to give a trigger warning. If you feel triggered and upset by talking about children being abused, then this part of the video is not for you, because we're going to talk about a couple of things. I'm going to talk about them very quickly because I don't like to talk about stuff like this, but we have to, because this is what's going on with Oprah. Now, y'all probably remember she built a big school in Africa, and she had a whole bunch of celebrities go to Africa to endorse it. Well, I don't even want to say this stuff. I'm just going to read it. So one of the articles says, Oprah Winfrey begs for forgiveness from parents over sex abuse. The alleged incidents came to light when one of the pupils ran away from the school because the reported abuse had become intolerable. Okay, so some kids started to run away from Oprah's school because they were accusing the staff workers of touching on them. Prosecutors had accused one of the matrons of the school of trying to kiss and fondle pupils at Oprah Winfrey's Leadership Academy for Girls near Johannesburg in 2007. So that's in South Africa. A few years later, because it started happening in 2007, in 2010, the woman that was accused of touching the girls was cleared on the charges. So that means that they let her get away with it. They let her go. That was in 2010. Now, here's where it gets worse. This was reported by ABC News. In February of 2011, cops probe body of dead newborn found at Oprah Winfrey School. Police officials in South Africa confirm that a dead newborn baby was found at the Oprah Winfrey Leadership Academy outside of Johannesburg, South Africa. So first you got kids getting touched on and having to run away from the school. The lady who touched on them winds up getting cleared of the charges 3 years later. And then a year later, they find a dead baby on the site. What's going on? There should not even be no baby there. Was that baby a newborn because somebody was continuing to molest those kids that went to that school? And so they had a baby? And then they just like killed it or whatever to hide the fact that they still doing stuff to them kids over there? All right, guys, I'm going to move on from that because there was also another allegation of them touching kids a second time around. But these are all of the things that Oprah would just be sweeping under the rug. And that's probably why she built that school in Africa instead of build it in America. Because in America, you know, these kids are going to tell it. And you know, these kids, their parents is going to probably pull out some weapons and go to work. But doing stuff in a foreign country so you can take advantage of people who don't have a voice, that's really crazy. That's really crazy, especially being that Oprah was accused of helping with child sex trafficking when it came to that John of God guy that she was promoting. So it's not like these type of allegations being associated with her are new. Okay, let me calm down. Let me check the comments. Oyela says her shows were very deceptive as well, as she was pushing various agendas for her shows. Yeah, because everybody thought she was just nice and motivational. And meanwhile, she's doing witchcraft. It says she even had Klansmen, skinheads, and more on her show. That's so hypocritical of her to say that. That's right, Oyela. That's a good point. For her to say the rappers, she don't want rappers on her show, and she embarrasses and humiliates them because they curse and they use the N-word. But she had Ku Klux Klan and skinheads on her show. You absolutely correct. And they say the N-word and all of that stuff. So you're right, Oyela. That's a good point. Here it says Oprah Winfrey and Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson faced backlash for asking fans to donate money to help those affected by the Maui wildfires, despite having a combined net worth of more than $2.5 billion. So The Rock and Oprah made a video telling people donate for this Hawaii relief fund. And people roasted them on social media. They say, you guys are billionaires. Y'all could donate all the money that it takes to help those people in Hawaii. Why y'all asking us for money? So after they got roasted by the public, they came back and said, oh, we gave 10 million of our own money. And it's going to be sent directly to the residents that's trying to build their homes after fires, which have killed at least 114 people. The wildfires, which completely destroyed the town of Lahaina, are the deadliest in the U.S. in more than a century. Winfrey is a part-time resident of Maui, while Johnson, known as The Rock, lived in Hawaii as a child. So Oprah owns like 100 or 1,000 acres of land in Hawaii. It says earlier this year, this is from the Los Angeles Times, it says earlier this year, Winfrey bought more than 870 acres on Maui, expanding her holdings on the island to more than 1,000 acres of land. After the acquisition, Forbes estimated her net worth at $2.5 billion. Ooh, child. So basically, people who are native to Hawaii, they said that the land that she bought was illegally sold because it was illegally occupied. So she's got more than 1,000 acres of land, and people who were there before her are saying that she got it wrongfully. But here's the scandal on top of how did she get the land, the fact that she had it. The wildfires exposed some conspiracy theories. At the bottom of the screen, it shows how there were all of these houses where you can see like red roofs, white roofs, gray roofs, and some plants like little trees and bushes. After the fire, all of this that looks gray, that's everything that was burnt down. So everything was burnt to the ground, like nothing was left. Those fires were so intense that all of the homes that you see here that look like red and white and gray with the green bushes, all of that has been burnt to ashes. Okay, so the devastation was complete. There's nothing left for people to go back to. They would have to build a house from the ground up. The problem is people started noticing that even though the majority of the houses were burnt to a crisp or to just ashes, there were some things that were not touched. And they noticed that things that were blue, the color blue, has survived the fire, which is really weird. Some things that were blue that were very small, some things were blue that were very big. They survived these wildfires. And so people started to say things like, even The Simpsons cartoon television show predicted the Maui wildfires in 2016. So once people started connecting the dots, it seemed like this could have been a pre-planned type of operation for the purpose of getting rid of poor people, burn them out, and so they can't afford to come back and rebuild. And now the land can be bought by rich people who want to live in Hawaii. So people were able to demonstrate that they feel that whoever had a blue house, a blue car, or things like that, those things were left standing, where everything around things that were blue were burnt to pure ashes. So someone in the comments said, Oprah lied? Oh, shock of all shocks. Say it ain't so, said no one ever. And someone at the bottom said, I'd rather hear about why her land in Hawaii didn't go up in flames when all of the non-rich locals lost everything. Very suspect. So that's what people started paying attention to. They were like, wait a minute, how is it possible? Everybody else's stuff burnt to pure ashes. But Oprah's 1,000 acres remain untouched, and these little blue things remain untouched. So these wildfires happened, I think, in September, which would have been like 3 months ago. However, 10 months ago, Chinese satellite lasers were recorded over Hawaii. 7 months ago, Army warning about green lasers over Oahu's South Shores. So there was apparently, people noticed that there were lasers over the land. That could have been them testing it out, the technology. Why am I saying that? There's a short video on YouTube called Laser versus Blue Umbrella Maui Fire. Okay? And this is for the people who noticed, why did the blue stuff survive, but absolutely everything around the blue colored things got burnt to a crisp? This doesn't make sense. This sounds like the use of the HARP weapon, which I talked about at the beginning of the video, an energy directed weapon. So someone made this video where they used a laser and they ran the laser across different colored fabrics. Look at this. When he ran the laser across the yellow fabric, it burned. The red fabric burned. The blue fabric did not burn. He ran the laser down the fabrics in a straight line. The yellow burned. The red burned. The blue did not burn. The green caught fire and burned. Right? Everything burned except the blue one. The yellow, the red, not the blue, the green, and the white. All of the fabrics caught fire when the man ran the laser over it, but not the blue. Okay? Someone wrote a comment. The frequency of blue is 6.66. Isn't it weird how it refuses to burn? And 666 is considered to be the mark of the beast, a number that is respected by people who believe in the devil. Someone put a comment. That's why the fake upcoming alien invasion is called Operation Blue Beam. Okay? Because this is a laser beam that will burn through material of any other color than blue. Okay? So the man demonstrated it for entertainment purposes only, of course. You're right. Someone put a comment, just watch the 4K Maui aftermath, and wow, blue cars, blue shirts, blue houses survived in the midst of the fire. Plus, aluminum melted and the asphalt didn't melt. There's only a 1,000 degree difference in temperature for melting points. Okay, so the person is basically saying everything was destroyed except for the blue stuff. That's the bottom line that they're trying to make. And it's very interesting because if that's the case, it does make it seem suspicious that this was intentional. Another scandal that Oprah was recently caught up in, she got exposed for lying. Oprah is a part owner of the weight loss company Weight Watchers. Oprah has struggled with her weight going up and down throughout the entirety of her career. So when she went to do Weight Watchers, it seemed like, a good match because now she could be relatable to people that have struggled up and down with weight loss. A lot of people can relate to that. And that's what Oprah portrays herself to be, a person that everybody can relate to. However, she lost a lot of weight recently. And when she was asked in public, oh, look, now your weight is down again. What's your secret? She said, Weight Watchers. But people started to expose her that she's on weight loss medication. So once Oprah got busted for lying, then she wants to reveal to People magazine that she uses weight loss medication as a maintenance tool. And she says, I'm done with the shaming. She's trying to act like people were body shaming her. Nobody was body shaming her. They busted her in a lie. And that's the problem with these narcissistic people. They lie, they gaslight, and then they blame everybody else, but they never take responsibility that they're the ones that's lying and manipulating people. Because she's a part owner of Weight Watchers, of course she would want people to think she lost weight naturally through Weight Watchers so she could make money off of watching them stocks increase. But once people know, no, that's not how she lost the weight. She's been taking like weight loss drugs, that's a different story. That's not what Weight Watchers is supposed to be about. Weight Watchers is supposed to tell people, count your calories. That was their big thing. Count your calories. You can eat what you want, but you have to add up the number of calories. So that's how you determine how much to eat. So if you want to eat something that have a lot of calories, just eat a small piece of it. That was the whole Weight Watchers philosophy. Count the calories. But Oprah's cheating. She's taking weight loss drugs and trying to pass it off as natural weight loss. Okay. Somebody wrote a comment. We knew she was lying all along. But she won't admit that she's lying. She's going to try to change the story and say, oh, they're body shaming me. Somebody did a video exposing that Weight Watchers purchased a company called Sequence. And Sequence is, I guess, the manufacturers of a pharmaceutical weight loss drug. So Oprah owns some shares in Weight Watchers, and Weight Watchers acquired a company that creates weight loss drugs, pharmaceutical supplements, or whatever you want to call it. Okay, so Weight Watchers is now changing their whole strategy from counting calories to influencing people to take weight loss drugs. Now, a lot of people have done videos on YouTube about these new weight loss drugs. When people take them, the original purpose of these weight loss drugs was actually medication for people with diabetes. People are taking it for weight loss, and it's causing them to look old. It makes their face get saggy. It like destroys the collagen in the skin, because the original purpose of these drugs was for diabetes. It was not for weight loss. So it's not healthy. It's toxic. But this is how far, these people are willing to go to give a certain appearance to people. And this is an article that just talks about how Oprah Winfrey purchased shares representing 10% of Weight Watchers, and she made a lot of profit off of pairing up with Weight Watchers. So that's the reason why she was lying about taking the weight loss drugs, because she wanted people to keep believing in the Weight Watchers program and not know that she was actually taking weight loss drugs. So 2 weeks ago, she said she's on a weight loss medication amid the Ozempic craze. So after she got busted and humiliated for lying, exposed, then she wants to come out and tell the truth. Okay, no apology for lying to make people join Weight Watchers, though. So you can see the weight loss or whatever. And a lot of times when people take weight loss drugs, the weight doesn't come off evenly, right? So she looks skinny in the middle, but the arms look kind of fat and watery. That's how you know it's not from exercise. The skin, it loses elasticity and collagen. So taking the weight loss drugs is not the best way to lose weight. But whatever, to each his own or her own. So thank you guys if y'all watched my video up to this point. I hope that you guys liked the video, share it, subscribe. You can support my channel by sending super chats or super stickers. You can cash at me at Leilani for God. You can PayPal me at leilaniforgod@gmail.com. You can email me with questions and suggestions as well. You can join my YouTube memberships. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope that the information that I provided gave you a clear picture of exactly who Oprah Winfrey is. There's an old saying, don't pay attention to what people say. You got to look at what they do. Another old saying, birds of a feather flock together. There's way too many sexual scandals surrounding Oprah, her friends, and her businesses, and that school in Africa. It's disgusting, it's despicable, and it's demonic. But unfortunately, these are the type of rituals that are associated with witchcraft. Y'all stay blessed, and I'll see y'all in my next video.